Hi everyone, this is John, and this is going to be for weeks 2 and 3 of the YouTube Pagan Challenge. Wasn't able to record it during the week mainly because I'm at school now, hence that's why all of my roommates' posters are in the back now. Um, yeah, and the first week you just try to figure out when you have time, when you don't, when you could do things, because I have a completely different schedule than last year, so. That's where that's at. Week 2 was, are you out of the broom closet? Yes, but not to everyone. I haven't come out to my parents yet. I'm pretty sure they know. I haven't really found like a good time to come out to them, and I feel like, I know some of you are saying like, well, there's never a good time. I don't know, when it never felt emotionally like guidance system intuition right. Didn't feel had the best time to do it. There was other things going on. Break was pretty packed. I did record a video for just summing that up and talking about how November was crazy, but for some reason YouTube is not liking how I'm trying to upload it. So I'm figuring out how to get that one up because there's a lot of info in there. But in school, I'm out to a lot of people. A lot of people know. And they don't freak out, which was initially kind of shocked me. I was like, really? Because this is the kind of school I go to, a Catholic school, and the way some people are, you think this would be a really, really big issue, and it ends up not being. So, yeah, which is nice. Like, a lot of people don't really know what to do with it, which is, in a way, it's not positive, but it's not negative. So that's week 2, and I don't know if I'm going through life if I'll just announce that to everyone, because, like, what a lot of people were saying in theirs is that for some relationships, people don't, it's not important for them to know. And, I'm fine with that. Like, that's something that resonates with me. Like, not everyone needs to know. Because it's not important to every relationship I have. So, there's that. Week 3 was like altar, sacred space, that theme, right? Yeah, is that. And so I would be on my phone, I would flip over, I'm looking up, so on my desk, well, let's see if you can see behind. Okay, so that's what our desks look like. That's my roommates. The top shelf of mine is where my altars are, and my fish tank, because our dorms aren't the biggest things ever, so you kind of have to make space with what you got and work with what you got. And so my desk is usually very cluttered with stuff. I'm trying to grow some basil. The seeds were really old, and I'm questioning if they're actually going to do anything. Who knows? But yeah, so I do have 3 altars. I have one to my ancestors with, now that I'm very much into shamanism and everything like that, it's becoming more important. I have 3 ancestral helping spirits that have come forward as of this far, and I don't know if more will. Um, how I encountered them was pretty interesting. So I have a friend who's a medium, and she just randomly was like, "Have you had an aunt and uncle die?" And how 2 of them were standing in relation to me is how she would interpret an aunt and an uncle. But then she's like, "Yeah," I was like, "I haven't had any die." Well, I had one who would be an uncle, but he died really young, far long, long before I was ever born. And there was not a second person, so I was like, I'm not sure. And then she says they really have kind of old world clothing, and I like got an image of it in my head. So they're called Aunt and Uncle. Uncle looks like he's walked off the set of Vikings, the History Channel show. Um, and Aunt kind of looks like kind of the it looks medieval-ish garb. Like she's got a dress with like the belt that you don't wrap around; it just kind of hangs down like that. I'm probably gonna go talk to them more. And another one who just showed up was Top Hat. And the interesting thing with ancestral helping spirits is not a lot of people are making it over to the other side. And this has become more common during the last 2,000 years, give or take. It's become more common because, like, in most traditional cultures, are what they called now. They used to be called primitive, but in a lot of traditional cultures now, everyone made it over, and now it's not a lot of people are making it to like the land of the dead, the other side, reuniting a source, whatever you want to call it. And so there's all these ghosts hanging around. We've also kind of romanticized the idea of having ghosts, and that doesn't help. And so that causes problems. If you're interested in looking into that, Google ancestral healing work and psychopomp, and you'll find out things about that, because dead people hanging around the land of the living is not good for anyone. Who else? I have my altar to Ganesha, I met up with him because people had mentioned him before, and then one day at camp, randomly just saw him 7 times throughout the day, or people were mentioning him. It was in photos, came in conversations, and it was during training week, and this one girl shows up with like a Ganesha statue, and it's like, so yeah, my sister's really into yoga, and she got this at this like awesome craft fair, something like that. It's like he removes obstacles. So then I just knew, I was like, okay, I understand, message received, you want to work with me. So with him, I have a tile. I'll put it in the link. There's this awesome store on Etsy called Terry Tiles, and I have a tile for him. It's got an image of him on it. I'll take it down now. I think this will flip it, but it's him on his mouse. Except in this case, the mouse happens to be the size of a horse. And then I've got a carved wooden statue of him and this kind of silver pewter plate, incense plate. So that's the wooden carved statue. It's the pewter plate. It's for incense. And then a glass of water. Also, the ancestors have a glass of water. Sometimes alcohol goes in there because they like that. And then it would be an incense censer. Well, it is. It's what I bought it to be. But it's filled with pink Himalayan salt because I just got tired of reaching into the bag. And as I talked about how space is kind of confined here, it just kind of migrated to be in front of his towel because it's hard to get the towels to sit upright. And the other altar is to Santísima Muerte. She just I actually just saw her in my tent one day, and also there was people had mentioned her, I was familiar, so then I just knew that. And she's technically on the same surface, which is so Santísima Muerte, the three unwritten rules are you have to have some sort of picture iconography of her, some sort of covering on whatever she's sitting on, so it's just simple tablecloth, even just paper towels if you have that. And 3 is that it's supposed to be on a completely separate piece of furniture, or there needs to be a separation showing for it. And I'm kind of doing that with the covering because there's a distinct this is her area kind of a thing. But when I get my own house and living space, she's going to have probably card table, maybe, I don't know. Am I thinking right? That would be too big, an end table. She's going to have her own thing, separate altar, because that's what she likes. And up there, you have 2 glasses. She likes things in twos, because you're supposed to do stuff with her. Put up an apple, you're supposed to eat it. You're supposed to have 2 glasses of water, kind of Space Crunch. One is water, right? And the other one's peppermint schnapps. I have an owl, because that's a symbol for her. I have the terry tile of her. Wonderfully done. I have a soapstone. It's kind of an Aztec Mayan looking thing. And oh, the owl fell over, but I have a soapstone owl. She's got her giant skeleton key. Alright, you just don't want to stand upright, so we're putting you here. And an hourglass, which are all symbols for her. Kind of in between those two, I have my water charging station for gem elixirs. I'd love to show you a photo of all this, but in some way, I guess it's meant that I wasn't supposed to if the videos aren't working on my phone. But how I do gem elixirs is I found something that I had, which was just a copper plate. Like, it's a thin copper thing. And I put the crystals on it. I had a glass bottle before, and now I have a copper mug, which, in case you didn't know, if you use it, it gets gross. But I'm fine with that, because I like polish it up every once in a while so it's less dingy. Unless it's just my energy all over it. And it's because I know people say you can put them in the water, but it's like sometimes I want to charge with crystals that are poisonous to people, and sometimes just fishing them out is hard. So that just takes away most of the things when they're just out around transferring the energy in. And then I have a grid going up there right now. And that's about it for my sacred space. So this was weeks 2 and 3. Thank you for watching.